Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to do another video, but today I'm just going to talk about the school year and how everything's going with me. Alright guys, well, if you haven't realized, today is the first official day of Christmas break for my school. So, let me tell you what's all been going on. This part of the school year, which we're in the second trimester, about to finish up the first 6 weeks in that trimester, and I'm teaching 3 chemistry classes. Then I have a 4th period class, which is kind of a skills building class for math. It's a small period. It's only about 30 minutes long. In that period, we work on, repairing, refreshing, reteaching skills that may have been forgotten somewhere along the school year or previous school years. So we're constantly pulling from current items that they're struggling with and things that they're struggling with in their past. So, and we use something called catch-up math for that. Okay, and then 5th period is my planning period. For this trimester. Yes, I said trimester. We're on trimesters. There's 3 of those. I'm not having a baby. Impossible for myself to, give birth. But anyway, that's 5th period. 6th period, I have statistics. For statistics, we use Khan Academy. That is our primary tool that's used in that class to gain an understanding of basic high school statistics. It's excellent if you haven't ever used it. 7th period is my bridge math class, and in that class I also use Khan Academy. It's great. So, and in bridge math we kind of do kind of what we were talking about we did in 4th period. In bridge math we go and try to find all these gaps, so to speak, and that's why we call it bridge math. Is we're trying to bridge the gaps between topics or certain types of mathematics that the kids are unfamiliar with. So Khan Academy is a great tool to use to help find those holes and build those bridges to connect the discontinuity of the subject matter or the topics that are discussed in math that they should have mastered along the way. So, but yeah, that's what we do in bridge math. Okay, now the 3 chemistry classes that I have, I use the learning management system Moodle. That I'm the only one at my school that uses it. I use it on my personal website to help the students gain more understanding through practice of repetition of the topics that are covered. So yeah, but that's basically how my school year is going. I think that it's been a pretty good school year so far. Nothing too bad. I've got a group of students in my 7th period that they call me Pappy. That's kind of I'm hoping a term of endearment. I hope that there's nothing bad associated with being called Pappy. I could be a little bit of a prude and say don't call me Pappy, but it seems to allow the kids to. I shouldn't say kids, allow the young adults, the students, to try to form some type of bond with me. I enjoy forming bonds with my students. A lot of my former students I'm really close to. We stay in touch. I like checking up on them. I like seeing them to succeed. And just in case, if you're in high school and you're watching this video, all I want to say is I know that the type of subjects that I teach, I know that we're gearing every child towards college, but I do want you to know that to be successful in college, you don't have to go after the traditional 4-year degree. There are plenty of degrees that are out there and certificates that are offered by junior colleges that you can make just as much, if not 2 or 3 times more money than people like me who have a 4-year degree. So, if it's money, then you can chase money by getting out of college a lot sooner with certificate programs offered at community colleges, junior colleges, and everything. So you can always look into those. Like if you're a hands-on kind of kid, I've always been a mix myself. I like hands-on. I also, meaning I like working on cars. I like doing, projects around the house, building stuff, fabricating stuff. I'm just not that great at it. I like doing it. And, I like maintaining my own vehicles. But I just want you to know that we would like for you to go and get a 4-year degree because that's what we did. But I want you to know that I've got a cousin who just did a certificate program. It was like 18 months at a community college, and he makes over $100,000, and he's doing machine tool and die. So if it's just money you're wanting, you don't have to settle for torturing yourself for a 4-year degree that could take you 5 to even 9 years to complete if you're working while you're going to college. So, but if you want the 4-year degree, then that's why teachers like myself, we teach the advanced classes and everything, so you have that opportunity. So you have some prior knowledge going in. You have a good idea of what's expected. But, if it's money you're wanting and you want to get out of college really quickly, then you can always look at those certificate programs. I think sometimes we don't stress that enough. So, but success is not always measured in financial gains. A lot of people want the 4-year degree just so they have the piece of paper to feel comfortable and they can feel secure that they've done this. I think that was, probably a big motivator for me to want to go and to complete my 4-year degree. I had a lot of people doubting that I could even finish college, and then I did, and I ended up being able to teach chemistry, physics, and mathematics at the high school level, and I even done some time teaching at the university and a junior college. So, however, at the university, I could not teach the college level classes because I don't have a master's plus the number of hours that's carried, so I could handle the, like the introductory chemistry classes, things like that, the introductory physics, so to speak. So, and the developmental courses that were offered at the junior college. But if you're wanting to get rich in teaching, you'll have to get your, EDS or your, some type of doctorate in education. So, just make sure you know that. And there's a lot of money that goes into your degree as far as if you want to go into education, and let's just face it, they don't want to pay us what the other traditional bachelor degrees earn. So, yeah. But anyway, I just want you to realize that, all you guys to realize that, if you're chasing after a 4-year degree, just make sure that you understand that that doesn't mean that you're automatically going to be successful in obtaining that 4-year degree. As soon as you get it, doesn't mean you're going to get all these job offers and you'll get all this money, because sometimes it doesn't happen. So I've been teaching publicly since 2002, and now it's 2018, and I make just under $50,000. So I want you to stop and think about that for a second. That's comfortable now, but when I first started, we're only talking about, when I first started, it was only $24,000 or $23,000. So I know you're probably thinking, well, you've doubled your money, but I was worth that, the basically $48,000 I'm being paid now. I was worth that way back then, even though they didn't want to pay me, because you got to remember, educators are paid from tax dollars. So, but you can easily make $50,000 a year by going to a community college and doing a certificate program. So, and you're not going to invest, the 4 to say 9 years of college debt to be able to teach or to do another degree. So you got to stop and think just for a second. It may take some of us, if we accumulate $100,000 worth of debt, or say $60,000 of debt into a bachelor's program, if we would have just did, the 18 months or the 1 year program at the community college, we could have already started making that money and paid off that debt in no time. So, but I'm not here to bash education at all. I mean, I love teaching. I mean, that's why I'm doing it. And that's another thing. You need to make sure whatever you choose, you love doing it. So, there are times that teaching gets to you. It's really stressful because you're not ever just teaching. There's not a day that I go into teaching the school day that I'm getting to just teach. So you need to realize that. Sometimes you need to be a parent to some of the students that you have. They may not have a stable home life. You may have to counsel another teacher that's struggling. So there are some days I struggle. I really do, and I rely on my friends that I have at work so we can talk about certain kids to help them and everything, try to find them help. And also, sometimes the kids even help me, so I get to ask them questions about things I may not understand, because I've got a teenage son, and that helps, so that way I can ask them from their point and their perspective. So you just don't get to go into teaching just to get to teach. So I say probably about 30% of my time actually deals with getting to teach, maybe even less than that. The other percentages are just made up with building relations with the kids, going around and monitoring them, trying to check to see if they're okay, not just with the subject matter, but anything else. Some of them will open up to you, and you can talk about what they need to talk about, so. But anyway, so that's how my school year is going, and I just wanted to give everybody a vague, very vague, because you can't really ever say names in certain situations with students publicly and everything. And as far as like trimesters go, we've been doing trimesters for I don't know, 5 or 6 years now, and we started out when I first started teaching back in 2002. We were on block, and I really enjoyed teaching on semesters because at the end of December, like right now, when we went back in January, we'd have new classes. Scheduling was much easier for the teachers and administration. Testing, the state testing, man, I can't even tell you how many millions of dollars has been wasted on state testing from our Department of Education, not our county, but our just state in general. Millions of dollars just down the drain, and they preach accountability, but it's just another way to eat up tax dollars. I think that a lot of times, the counties, if they would just come up with their own end of course tests, agreed upon by the elementary schools, the middle schools, and then the district, it'd be so much better. and then, because if you've got all your high schools agreeing on, hey, these are the most fundamental things that we need to cover, and if you always make sure that you're testing just those specific set of skills, then that are truly important, then you could have an accurate measurement of achievement and growth. But if you're constantly changing the tests, with putting different topics in there and different pieces of things, it's really hard to see the statistics behind that, because there's discontinuity in the subject matter if you're constantly jumping around things. Because, for example, if you're trying to determine the number of neutrons, and that's what you've always went over, is discovering the number of neutrons, protons, electrons, the mass number. Then all of a sudden, you've got somebody that's never been in the classroom, and they think, okay, let's ask them basically how to calculate the isotopic abundance. And they may feel that that's the same type of concept as what we just talked about, calculating the number of neutrons. That's an entirely different skill, but someone that is not a chemistry teacher, someone that's in a political office, that's never been in a classroom in a day in their life, would not know that. And even if you have a panel of teachers, getting all the teachers to agree upon what's the most important, in high school. Now, isotopic abundance, that's an important calculation if you were, say, in college. And it's an easy calculation for the most part. But, if we're talking about fundamental skills, they need to know how to calculate the number of neutrons. They need to know how to calculate the mass number. I understand that. That is fundamental. So you can't go back and forth by changing those questions, because if you're wanting to see growth, or how the teacher is preparing the students, then you need to hold the test to being the same style of questions. Change the numbers, of course, but they need to be the same style, the same format. So, but anyway, testing is, man, I would really love for my state to have all of the money back that they spend on this standardized testing and put it back into the schools. Now, a lot of times, I would love for, all schools, all high schools, elementary schools, middle schools, have brand new computers. Have fully stocked, computer labs, fully, integrated, 100% working all the time, infrastructure on internet and things like that. It's such a necessity these days, with the way education is going and all the different learning platforms that are coming out online, such as Moodle and Khan Academy. We need bandwidth. So, and yeah. But anyway, that's my 2 cents and everything on trimesters. Oh, excuse me, I got hiccups. Trimesters and semesters. I'm going to tell you, 4x4 blocks are the best for teachers and students, because it actually resembles what they're going to see in college. Trimesters. I love trimesters because I get to have my chemistry kids for the whole school year. I love it for that. It's kind of weird in the other classes that are not all year round, that I only have them for 1 or 2 semesters. That's kind of strange. So, I don't know, maybe instead of having 4x4 blocks, if we stayed with trimesters, maybe have the same 8 classes every single day. Maybe that would be a little bit better, because 4x4, that's 8 classes. I don't know. I'm not an administrator. I'm just a classroom teacher, and I love teaching. So, yeah. All right, guys. I think that's pretty much done with this video. I've rambled enough, and you probably saw enough of me. So, I'm just going to tell you, good luck out there, and make sure you do your assignments. Do them on time. That's important too. Stay focused in school. Remember, try to distance yourself from those questionable characters in school that they don't have the same vision and goals as you do. Don't let them bring you down, and watch out for influences that are bad influences. So always stay positive, stay hardworking, and you'll succeed. All right, guys, y'all have a good one, and just message me if you need any problems worked out, and I'll do my best to try to do those for you. All right, guys.